Hi, my name is Kathleen Stoneman. So many of the videos that I make have similar themes and will continue to have similar themes. And I just wanted to talk a little bit more about some of the underlying aspects of what's going on in humanity. It's hard to put it all in one video, and I usually try and keep them very short and talk more in different classes about other aspects of things. So, humanity is on this evolutionary trajectory of holding more light and bringing in higher frequency light, which will inevitably bring the shadows up for clearing. So, what creates the shadows? What creates the wounds? So, when we're children, often 4, 5, 6 years old, there can be a misunderstanding in ourselves as a child where we feel not loved, not accepted, not safe for any number of things. Quite often, it can be something pretty innocent, but we are developing our self concept and feeling safe and loved and accepted by our family and people in our lives is so important in our development that we will then suppress those aspects of ourselves that weren't approved of or that were judged or that were disregarded or didn't get us the positive reinforcement we may have been looking for at the time. Of course, there are circumstances where children are physically abused and severely traumatized, and this will also create these issues. But I'm speaking more about your average person who has wounded parts of our personality that we've decided that we're not safe to show that aspect of ourselves, that we might suppress or hide or reject aspects of ourselves because of various situations we went through when we were younger. So, what is that? That is a separation within ourselves, within our self concept, a separation of us saying that part or aspect or quality of being within ourselves isn't acceptable. It's not lovable. We need to hide it. We might feel shame about it. We might judge it. We might not even consciously have a remembering or recognizing that this is some part of ourselves. It could be a creative, expressive part of ourselves. It could be a really talent that we hold that wasn't appreciated, or it intimidated someone else, or it made someone feel uncomfortable. Perhaps you're very psychically intuitive child speaking a lot of wisdom, and the adults in the room said, "What is this child doing?" And it made them very uncomfortable. So we closed that down. So right now, there's just such an awakening within all of humanity. All of us are having this to some degree, and all of us are very individual in how it's unfolding. But we're seeing within ourselves more clearly what those aspects of ourselves that we rejected or pushed away or suppressed or hid. And yet, those parts of ourselves are part of us. There's some light in there that we were expressing, that we were wanting to bring into the world. And part of this awakening and this inner healing that we're all going through is reintegrating those rejected, judged aspects of ourselves. So as we're bringing in this light from Three-Eye Atlas and the solar flares and all of the other cosmic light coming in from Andromeda and the other, all the neutrinos and all of the beautiful energetic aspects of the astrology and so much more, and the energy from the earth. All of these energies are culminating and building within humanity, holding more light, holding more energy within us to be a more full expression of our soul, who we fully came here to be, the truth of who we are. That we probably can't even fathom at this moment what that really even means. But I believe we're on this path of discovering more aspects of ourselves that maybe were suppressed, repressed, hidden, that are ready to come forward, that are ready to be healed and integrated. And so recognizing that we may need to be more kind and gentle to love those parts that have felt separated. There might be sadness or grief or confusion about that, and working through those things. It's understanding that the more light we hold, the more shadow will come up. And some things are, like I was talking about, our golden shadows, these aspects of ourselves that we suppress that are maybe really good things, but we hid them. And there can also be more shadowy parts of our personalities that are more wounded ego, that are in judgment, that are in blame, that are in looking at outside of ourselves, and the strategy that the wounded ego aspect in this part of it can be wanting everything outside of ourselves to change so we feel safe, so we aren't afraid. So it's putting the power and the energy of helping us feel safe by expecting something outside of ourselves to change. We're not in control of the world or other people. So that isn't really going to work in the long term. So one of the ways of looking at that is, how can I come out of judgment of whatever it is outside of me, the person, the situation, someone else's belief system that I don't agree with, whatever it might be? How can I come into divine neutrality about whatever those things are, so that I'm not pinning all of my well-being and feeling safe in the world on changing something else outside of me? Well, you'll say, well, Kathleen, how that's easy to say, but how do I do that? True. It's understanding that we're all parts of source. We're all these individual sparks of light having our own individual experience. And we've come into this life as an individual to be that unique, different spark that believes this and that and loves this and that. And this other person came in to love the opposite thing of that and the opposite thing of that, because we live in a polarity, duality based 3D reality. But underneath that is this unity that we're all love, we're all source, we're all these divine souls who came in with this free will reality, this beautiful gift that we have of self individuation and being able to be unique and not be homogenized to all think and feel and want exactly the same thing. That would be very boring. Why would Source want to do that? So it's how can we both, through our own self-love and self-honoring of the uniqueness that we are here to be, that spark that wants to express through ourselves, and recognize that that other person or group of people are living that same concept, though with different preferences and different beliefs and different priorities. And how can we understand that on some higher level, none of us are wrong? So it's not about being, I'm right and they're wrong. We're all here to express, to live, to be this unique, amazing expression of creativity. Creativity is boundless and limitless. And we want it that way. So, how can we come into healing within ourselves the fear of things that we disagree with or that are different from ourselves? And I think if we can recognize that unique aspect of ourselves that yearns to express and share and connect with others in our unique way, if we can love and accept that within ourselves with kindness and without rejecting parts of ourselves, then that's opening our heart. That's softening ourselves to see the world in a softer way, where we aren't threatened by people who have other thoughts and feelings and beliefs and priorities in the world. So, disconnection, separation from love within ourselves, judgment within ourselves, that hardness or rigidity or wanting to control, to try and cling to safety through overcoming our fear by saying, if you change this, I'll feel better, is understanding that doesn't really work. It's always an inside job first. So when we can look at ourselves and fully love and accept ourselves and do the healing work to reintegrate the aspects that maybe we pushed away, it will soften us and bring us more into love, which is the truth of who we are. And then through that love, it grows our capacity to be able to experience others that are different from us through a new lens, not only a lens of separation and judgment and polarity and that I'm right and they're wrong, but from this unity consciousness lens of we're all these individuated souls here having our unique experiences. And it's all good. It's all God, source creator. It's all creative expression. How can we allow that, accept that without fear? So, what comes up with that statement for me is if I'm afraid of showing myself because I might be judged by someone else, then that has to come back to me to come back into that truth of knowing that I'm worthy because I exist. I am safe and supported and loved always. There is nothing wrong with me. There is my free will choice to recognize that I choose what I will believe and what I will focus on and what I will create. And if I stay in that wound of separation and judging a part of myself, then I will likely experience other people judging me. Not saying any of this is easy. Even trying to explain it is sometimes challenging because I know for all the things I say, I want to say 20 other versions that cover more aspects that'll bring more understanding. So I will likely make more videos on these topics, and I hope that this is helpful. Sometimes it's planting these seeds for ourselves that even if in this moment our mind is arguing, well, it's easy to say, but hard to do, or feeling like you can't get there from here. And sometimes that is the case in that moment in time. However, what is it they say? You can't unring a bell. So I plant some seeds, they start to grow. The aha moments happen because your soul is here to fully express. Your soul is the essence and power of love, and it has come here to shine its heart in the world and to express and share and connect in love. That is why we're here. And how can we be that in the world, express that in the world more fully, more authentically, more passionately, and the fully integrated aspects of ourselves, not just these parts that we know are acceptable or that we get validation and approval from others, but all of us, all the aspects of ourselves, because that is why we're here in this 3D reality, is to experience all of these full depth of emotions and feelings and expressions and light and dark and everything in between. And we didn't come into this world to be perfect. You're already perfect the way you are, flaws and all. And we've never made a mistake. First time my angels told me that, my heart just, what? But also the love of never made a mistake. That can be something as a seed just to sit with. What if I've never made a mistake? No matter what's happened, because the soul comes here to have experiences and it grows through experiences. So that means there are the ups and there's the downs. We learn through contrast. We learn through polarity. We learn through opposites. So, how can we allow the integration of the contrast within ourselves to all be lovable, to all be acceptable, and stop resisting what is within ourselves and suppressing what is within ourselves and allowing it to express bigger, more authentically. So these are just some thoughts. I hope it's helpful. I'm really setting the intention of making more videos and teaching more information on social media to be of help. So it's not just in one-to-one clients and in classes. But you're always invited if you need an individual session. Look in the information below. And Reiki classes are a great way to work with yourself, with energy, and to assist with your enlightenment, your awakening, your supporting yourselves through all of this. So that's what I have for now. So much love. Thank you. Please like the video and subscribe.